I'll move you a little bit closer. This package has arrived, so we'll have a look inside it and see what's in this one. Well, this looks like a portable computer. And there was a letter with it, so let's have a look at this. So, hi typo, I'm shipping this tiny box, just kidding. Yeah, it's not tiny. To you, as I came across a computer when cleaning out our loft. Yes, it was getting a bit clutty and some items have just to be moved and find their next destinations. Back in the 90s, I was working as a service engineer for Bosch in Germany, where amongst many tasks I had to calibrate some of our customers' equipment, and this computer was one of the many tools we had with me. I have no idea if this computer is working, as it has not been turned on for about 20 years. I'm not a computer specialist, so I don't even know what type of computer it is. Most likely an 8286. I have noticed that you, from time to time, drink your coffee from a Bosch coffee mug. Oh. That's correct. I sometimes do. Yeah. Well, this is not Bosch, this is Bosch Rexroth, but same company, just another department. Were we drinking coffee from a Bosch coffee mug? So in that spirit, I hope this also could have some interest to you and your channel, and I shall be looking forward to see you look into this Bosch branded computer. Keep up the interesting work. Michael von Clemens, I think. So he's a German guy. Interesting. So many people know Bosch. You probably have some, I don't know, you could have a mixer for food or some other equipment for your kitchen, a vacuum cleaner, or lots of stuff. Bosch Rexroth also makes, for instance, hydraulic pumps and other equipments. And this is supposed to be a Bosch Rexroth computer. I think I need to, this is interesting. Just a brief, let me open it up. How does this work? Okay, there we go. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. There's a monitor. This looks like a 9 or 10-inch monitor. A floppy disk drive and a keyboard with a cable here. Hold on. Definitely a PC. I will move the camera a little bit closer, or even closer, and let's twirl around this and see what this is. It is labeled Bosch. Wow, Bosch PG4. Never heard of this one. Interesting. So let's briefly just start by looking at the keyboard. This is a normal XT or PC keyboard with the 10 function keys over here. They're plastic, but still a little bit textile, so we'll have to see what kind of keys and key stamps is in there. I see the good old-fashioned plug for a keyboard, and I have noticed it seems to be able to be put in here like this. So for storage, there's a channel here where the keyboard cable can be placed somehow like this. And this weird metal plate, I noticed when I took it off, it goes into a slot down here somehow, which then goes something. I know you probably can't see it, but let's just try and see if I can close this one up again. So on the sides there are two hinges, and if I now lift it up, I'm not sure you can see it, hopefully. But up here, let me just focus. There we go. Up here, that's where the keyboard is also connected. So take it off again. It's very robust. It's hard plastic, but some of this is also metal. And as it's branded Bosch Rexroth, I can only assume this has been built only for Bosch Rexroth. So this is a custom-made computer. Here we have, this seems to be a 9-inch, it could be 10-inch, not sure, screen. Over here we have a 3.5-inch floppy disk drive, I think so. There's another bay here with a metal plant, and then there's a, I don't know, it's just a gap. Let me briefly get a disk. So obviously this is a floppy disk. I think this is just where you keep disk in for safekeeping. I have no idea. Over here, well, on the top in this area again, we have the logo Bosch, and it seems that the model is called PG4. There's a green power, there is a red temperature indicator, there's an orange or yellow disk, there's contrast and brightness control over here for the monitor. This is most likely not a color thing. If we move to the sides, we then have the handle, and we have a lot of slots populated with a lot of cards, as it seems. We'll have to open it up, but I don't know if you recall the Olivetti M21, which was a portable computer also. The graphics cards, the cable for the actual internal monitor was a cable out and went back in again. I think it's the same thing over here. This is again for the monitor. So there seems to be, it seems to be able to be screwed off. So let's try and find another screwdriver. And this comes off and move you closer in, because as you may see down there, in there, there's a ribbon cable. So what this thing here does, it actually takes the graphics card, connects it into this, the output of the graphics card becomes the input of this thing, which then goes in here, sorry, over there, goes in there. So the graphics card must be sitting up here, as we know. Then the output comes and goes back in, and then somehow must be going into the monitor to drive the monitor somehow. But this is obviously not an Olivetti, so this is most likely, I don't know, could it be CGA, VGA, Hercules? I will have to see when we figure out how to get inside this. Maybe two, I couldn't say, parallel ports, one serial maybe up here. This is extra white, and this is a very weird plug. So no idea for this one, no idea for that one. This looks really weird. And then it seems that we have an on and off power thingy over there with some power lightings there. In the back, there's a marking, most likely with some, is the serial number. I can't even read it. It's so blurred out. So let's not go into that. Yeah, don't know yet. Let's just move to the other side, which is the stand. So if I took the handle from the other side, I'm assuming you can store the computer upside like this. Let me just put it down. You can't see it anyway. So I don't know where to begin. Maybe we should have a look at the bottom again, just briefly to see. I see feet. Oh, I see something over here. Maybe this could be interesting. So I see these, and there's one up here. And that must be in order for the computer to be lifted up a bit, right? It is. Beautiful. Cool. Let's move back. Let me clip them in. Turning around because I saw something here. I don't know. Let's try like this. Oh, secret department. So this comes off. I have to look into this. So in here in the secret department, I see a printer cable and something going from maybe DIN 9 to the bigger one. So this is for one of the cards in the back. So this must be for the serial port somewhere, and the other one for the parallel. So that's very interesting. And the back here we had a piece of paper. Which briefly, system, this is in German, Systemtyp, so system type is called IP286Q/W25BO, and the Baugruppennummer, that's the build group number is 980-0000, and it's the serial number 17050121. Auftragsnummer, that's, I don't know, some other number, who cares? And then there's a date, and 9/02/1987. And this seems to be a piece of paper telling us what's inside this. So this is a category 10 megahertz computer with the serial number. Hercules graphics card, there we go. So now we know that. Serial parallel interface, a floppy hard disk controller, 9-inch 18.4 kilohertz monitor, a TEAC FD-35F floppy, and some MS8425 20 megabyte hard disk. Oh, there's a hard disk inside, there we go. This is the power supply, it's 220 volts, and the keyboard is internal Bosch. And this seems to be a test sheet saying okay to everything. Nice. I also saw this over here. So that must be, does it open the CPU or what? No. Wow, that's, what is this? Oh, there we go. So where did we have the power supply? Because it's like a fan filter. So it's filtering, yeah, I see in here. It seems that there's a fan and this is a filter in front of it. Is it dusty? It's, oh, it's very dusty. So that went in here. It's an industrial computer. I have this feeling that everything is like super industrial. If I move all this away, I have no clue what to do from here. But I see a screw there. Dust. And on the other side. So I think if I screw these out, maybe we'll be able to have a look inside. Is this like this? This is a plastic bay. So let me try to find a screwdriver and open these two up. There we go. One plastic tray with two stands here taken off. Oh, beautiful. Now we have the inside of the computer. This is very pretty. Very pretty. So what do I see? I see a fan, something power supply-ish over here. So this must be for the monitor, the CRT. This is the power supply over there. That fan, we had the filter over there. So that's why we had that. And I see 1, 2, 3, 4 cards in and an additional slot. So there's actually 5 expansion in this one. I think we need to figure out how to get deeper into this computer. So let me figure out how to dig deeper into it, right? I taken out the screws for the cards, and I can tell you I had a peek inside, and I am super excited for this computer, and I hope you stick around until the end because there's so much cool stuff in this computer. The first cool thing that I want to rip out is the first card down here. Let me just briefly explain. This is an industrial designed casing. Therefore, everything is not as is usually when you have to do with a PC. But in this case, in order to rip out the card, obviously you need to take out the screws on for the card down here. But you also need to unscrew a plastic thing. I don't know if I can show you. Let's see. This black one, this goes forward and backwards. And maybe you can see the 2 screws down here, so that needs to be pushed this way in order for us to take out the cards. And the first card, which is most likely the most exciting card of them all, is this one. This is a Bosch branded computer. This is a Bosch designed PLC monitoring programming card I have discovered. I hope the computer is running. This is so exciting. I hope the computer is running so that the hard disk is also working, and there is software on that hard disk that shows how this works. Because obviously, and this is Bosch branded, you cannot find any software floating around for this card. This is specifically made by and for Bosch Rexroth to configure or monitor some PLC systems. Let me rip out the other cards. Let me explain what I'm going to do. Afterwards, I'll show you PLC units and have a tiny brief talk about PLCs in general. So that was that card. Very exciting. The next card is the least exciting one. This is just a serial and parallel card. Nothing special about this one. This is Diamond IO. I think it says DIO 100 rev. Is that a D? So nothing special, absolutely not. The next one was the one with the cards or the cable hanging out, putting into, and as we saw on the piece of paper, this must be the Hercules graphics card. Hercules graphics card are, let's see, it is Hercules, I don't know how you pronounce it. It's an 8-bit card. This is standard. There's nothing special to say about this. This can produce monochrome output, nothing else. Nothing more, nothing less. Nothing special about this one. So let's just take this aside. The last one is a, looking at from this angle, this looks like the same Western Digital floppy disk and hard disk controller card. It looks like the same one. So let me unhook the cables. This is for hard disk. This is for floppy disk. And if I do this, I noticed, let me take out the card, but let me just explain, this doesn't hook up to any floppy disk drive. So I don't know how the actual 3.5-inch floppy disk drive is connected yet. So let's see, over here we have, on this side we have the power cable. There we go. So let's see. It is Western Digital. This is a VD1003 VA2. Not 100% the same ones that I've seen in Olivetti's. Fun thing, I don't know. So this end was at port 1 for floppy disk drive, like this. The other end, which it's difficult to see right now, which should be the B drive. This should be an A drive, this should be B drive. And what is this? Let's come back to this afterwards. So one connects up here to the card. This should have been connected into a floppy disk drive. It wasn't. And then it continues to the back. So it goes out to what, an external floppy disk thingy. I know the IBM 5150, you could have a casing with just 2 floppy disk drives and external ones. And the floppy disk controller in the 5150, this one was there. So I don't know if this was intended, no idea. Absolutely no idea. That's a little bit crazy, but it is a floppy disk controller. This should have been set into the floppy disk drivers in there, but it wasn't. And this was hooked to a power LED down here. Weird. That means that all of a sudden we have access to the whole computer. But it's going to be a tiny bit difficult just to rip out the motherboard. I want to have the motherboard out. I also would like to take off the camera and just give you a tour around the inside, but there's no need for it. I can tell you, this is crisp, clean. There is no dust, no nothing. It's just beautiful, beautiful. So I want to rip out the motherboard anyway, because I just want to have a look at it. There must be a battery somewhere. I actually, right now, as I talk, I see it down there. It's down there. So it's not on the motherboard. It's hooked up with cable and is with some strips put down here. So I want to rip this out. This is an industrial designed computer cabinet, so it's going to be a little bit difficult. So when you are dealing with these kind of things, you need to find the correct way in. Let me just briefly have a look, just to figure out, yes, okay, cool, I got it. There we go. So if I turn it around, it's all about the button casing first. I can see this is going down here. So this needs to come off first. In order to get this off, there are 2 screws, and once these are out, there are 2 screws which is connected to the one that went into the keyboards. So these 2 needs to be screwed out also, and then I can just slide this plate out. I will guarantee you that's the game. Once that's done, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 screws on the side, which means this plate can come off. This plate is the one, let me just have a brief look. Yes, so that plate is the one that holds the power supply, which then gives me access to take that off. Once that's taken off, I should have access to the motherboard. And I will guarantee you almost, when we take this off, we can see the backside of the cabinet, sorry, of the motherboard. So let me do all of this and then quickly come back to you. Everything's out. Well, the motherboard and the card, they're over here, as you can see. So let me take the camera a little bit closer and we can have a peek inside or onto the motherboard, and let's see how that went. And as you saw, once I took out the back plates, you could actually see the back of the motherboard also. This is the huge power supply, and I haven't been able to locate any specification for this power supply. There are loads and loads of plugs here. So this one went to the motherboard. All of this goes up here to fans and to the power supply and driver board for the actual CRT screen. It also continues over here into something in the front. I'm not quite sure what it is. I also noticed, I hope we can see it, up here there's a thermostat. This is something related to the, I think it was the red lighting in front. So let me briefly move us a little bit closer to this card. And here we have the battery. Let's start by checking if there's actually power. What does the battery say? On the front it says Vata. Ooh, but I've never seen one of these. This is special. It has 2, I must say this must be positive and it must be ground or negative. Going to the board, both of them. There's one that's not been used and no idea what that's good for. This is Vata, 3 volt, or actually 3.6. So let's briefly have a peek with this one. And let's see if there's any, I don't know if you can see, hopefully, I'm not sure, we'll see. So let's just test it. This gives me 3.3, some how it's going down. I don't know why. Let's try the other one. 3 point something. Yeah. So the battery is working. Let's have a brief look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 slots. 2 of them are 8-bit, the rest are 16-bit. This had no idea. This was not connected to anything. This power supply over here, but the one down here was connected to the power supply. If I turn it around and I lift it a little bit up, hopefully you can see this is our star. This is the 8286, but this is from Siemens. And here we have the BIOS. I will take out the 2 BIOS and I will make the dumps of the BIOS and put these on my archive.org amongst pictures of everything. So if anybody is interested in this very specific special computer, you can have a closer look at that. So nothing more to say. It's just a PC and maybe there's 1 megabyte there. I don't want to even look at it. We'll see once we put it back again. Again, I have no clue about the motherboard itself. Over here it says 1106-1.2 CAT, copyright by Kintron or Contron, K-O-N-T-R-O-N. So this is some sort of generic card that Bosch used to put in their computers. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else of interest that we can have a look at. No, there's no naming besides that. On the back we have loads of Bosch wires. So one going from there to there, and from the other one all the way down there. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 Bosch wires down here, and there's one big one up there, and there's one over here. So yeah, no comments. And again, the only thing I can see here is 1106-1.2 CAT. So I'm assuming this is the model number for this motherboard. So maybe I will have a peek at Google and see if I can find anything there. So that was this card. Nothing special. So let me just briefly take this away. And if I then take this back, just now that we have it on the table, we can have a bit closer look at it. Again, look at how clean everything is. It is pretty. There's material mat number, and I think I need to turn it around. 054017 201401. There's a date stamp 3187, and again it's Bosch. Everything is Bosch, and over here you can definitely see the Bosch in the PCB. So nice, very nice. It has 2, let me see if I can see it. It has 2 connections. I actually don't know the name of this connection, but this is PLC, absolutely. I will assume this is also some kind of serial connector thingy that goes, so the top one goes up here. The other one goes directly, maybe you can see it on the back, goes directly to the motherboard. Not motherboard, the board itself. So I can't say much about it, but I just briefly want to give you a brief tour about what the card could have been used for. So let me unhook the camera and let me take you somewhere. So our first stop is, I can't show you much in here, is PLC related. Okay, so if we have a look at all of these are bays that is going to be put into a cabinet, and in these you can slot in PLC units. There are different kinds of connectors, and this is a breakout board where the connection from the card goes into these, and all these will then be connected to some kind of relays or thermostat, power, and loads and loads and loads of input-output units. And there are many different types of all of these stands, and here we actually have one PLC unit. As you can see, it's put into the card, slots in, and it has different kinds of purpose. And as you can see, this is Bosch Rexroth card. So this is a PLC controller unit. I actually think maybe this is a, no, this is just a VT3000. I have a few other ones, different kinds of relays for different kinds of hookup system. This is for powering. All of this is actually, with this connection, then means usually it's power related. So these are relays for powering, different kinds of relays. Here's another one, turn it around. This is not Bosch Rexroth related. These are another brand, PR. It's not a brand. Over here we have another card. So this card will then slide into one of these slots. Need to see which one. So it's gonna actually be this one. So it goes in here. Sorry, it needs to be turned around, obviously. Difficult with one hand. I think you get the idea. So this slot goes down there and hooks in there. So let me take this away and let me briefly take you on another journey. And these are racks where there are PLCs inside. So if I open one of these up, you can see, well, I need to step a little bit, it's big. And there are plenty and many of these cabinets here. And all of this is PLC units that are connected to different kinds of relays or measurement systems out in a production environment. I can't show you anything of that, sadly, but this is PLC, all of this. So our little computer, and there are cabinets and cabinets and cabinets and cabinets, it just continues. So this little card is meant in the computer to program system like this. Cool. Let me come back to the computer, and we need to figure out how to test and assemble it again so we can turn it on. Back at the computer, I put in the motherboard back again. I have now dumped the two BIOS. I connected the keyboard connector. There's a keyboard normal DIN 5 or plug down here for a regular keyboard that you used to put in there. But there's also a take out here, which goes to a cable that goes into the front. And if I move over, sorry. So what I'm talking about is this cable connector is in there, but there's also a take out, so it goes in the front. So I hooked that up. I hooked the battery back in as I should, and there was a power LED, which is this purple colored here, takes power from the motherboard. Sorry, not power. This is the hard disk LED. Somehow this goes to the motherboard. I'm not quite sure why it's up there. But the only thing I just wanted to show you before I assemble everything back, as I am very comfortable about just turning this one on. And I unhooked this screw. And when I did that, I could actually take this one plate out too. So let me do that. And if I see if I can move the computer a little bit closer. So here we have the monitor, and this monitor is called model number 9KNK1, 13 watt DC, 15, or is it, no, it's 1.5 amp. There's a serial number 9540345. But I can't really, maybe here, sorry. Is it called Cytec ZENITH Electronics Corporation Taiwan, September 25th, 1986. So that's the CRT. Here we have the hard disk. And the hard disk is also a bit weird or odd. As I can see, it's been inspected by Mini Scribe Quality Assemble in Singapore. This is supposed to be double-sided tape. The cable are here. Really can't see much because I can't read anything because the double-sided tape is over, so I can't see anything. But cylinder 36, head 3, something byte. I will assume this is defect, so 258. That's all I can see on this one. There's a date stamp 02 May 1986. So the hard disk is this way, the floppy disk is obviously that way. Further down here, you can't see it, but never mind. There is a loudspeaker sitting down there. So let me now come back to you once I moved everything in, and we shall try just to turn it on and see if everything is working. I assume it is. All cards are in, and I'm not putting the lid on. I just wanna see if it actually works right. So power LED put in. Let's put some keyboard, and let's maybe hook it up so we can see. And put in the keyboard, and maybe I need to adjust the camera, right? Shouldn't I? Yeah, like this. Hope we all can see. And let's turn it on. We do this. This is Bosch Rexroth. This is high quality. I have no problem actually just turning it on, as I haven't seen anything that's suspicious. And this is super crisp, pristine inside. So 3, 2, 1. I hear stuff. I see something on the screen. Contron CAT 286 ROM BIOS version 2.01. System running at 10 MHz. Check base memory 640. Check extended memory 384. Battery low power. Run setup. Hit control to confirm or escape for setup. Wow. Contrast? Brightness? Oh, wow. Or maybe I need to have a little look at the pots, but it's beautiful. It's amazing. Yeah, well, let's try. I think I want to put, I'm so excited. I'm sorry. Let me take the camera a little bit closer. So I think we should see if we can go into the setup. So escape for setup. Where's the escape key? Hold on a second. What's wrong with the keyboard? I need an escape key up here. What is this? It's an English keyboard. I know this is German, right? So I would have assumed this was a German keyboard, but it's not. So there's something going on. Escape is not here. Somehow I located it over there. I am right. Or am I getting old? This is supposed to be over here, right? Let's press escape over here. Doesn't do anything. Keyboard is working. So this, oh, there we go. Sorry, it just took a while. We're in some sort of BIOS. Wow. Wow. So let's see. Configuration setup. We can set time and date up here. And we can configure the floppy disk drives, boot with PC keyboard, primary display. Oh, wow. This is a weird BIOS. So somehow I think we need to go up and find the date. So can I press 8 on the keyboard to key up? I can. Yes. So no idea what time it is. So let's just say 12. Like this. And then what? Enter? No. Key down. Okay, cool. Month, it's 01. Sorry, something's happening. Struggling getting the hang of this. There we go. And we are 2023. Enter? No idea. Arrow down. Disk drive A. So I can change by left and right. Ah, yes. So there we go. This must be a 1.44. So down, down, boot with keyboard. I will say yes. Primary display, EGA or no video, color graphics, absolutely not. Color graphics, no. Hercules, that's the one. Fixed drive C, that's gonna be funny. How do we locate the disk drive? Let's come back to this. Just want to walk through it, see how many we have. So 47. No idea yet, but there's definitely no here. Base memory, why is it 640? Extended memory was what? 386? Exit without change. Set new configuration and reboot. Where there? Okay. Should we try? No idea with the hard disk though. That's gonna be a challenge. So let's try. It's trying to boot from the floppy. There we go. Memory size error run setup. We'll have to come back to this. I want to try to put in the boot disk. I just want to see if it actually does anything in the disk drive. So let me find boot disk. Hit control to continue. Let's do that. And that does something over here. Disk error. Yeah. I was afraid that something is going on with the floppy disk drive since the cable was out. So we'll have to figure out to come back to this. But it's all up and running. So we just need the hard disk and the floppy disk drive and fixing the memory. Then we're done. And I'm back. Yeah, sorry. You're probably all screaming at me with the memory. It's not 386. I'm confused. It's 384, right? That should be the value. So let's just briefly see if this works. We said no, not present to both of them, didn't we? So why is it saying D drive? Well, let's try. Weird. But I also saw a light over here. So let's Control Alt Delete before we move on. There. And there, and it's doing something. But now it's at least not complaining with the memory. Yeah, same problem. So let me take out the floppy disk drive, Control Alt Delete, and see if it somehow just goes on the hard disk now. No. So we'll have to figure out to get into the BIOS somehow. I'm trying to press delete on the keyboard. There we go. Escape to get in. That was over here. I'm sorry with the keyboard. It's so weird. It's over here. There we go. So I will go through all of the different kinds of selection. It's a 20 megabytes. That was on the piece of paper, right? So it must be something with 20 megabytes. I'll go through all of them, and once I've found the one that seems to be working, I will come back to you, because there's no need for you to see me try to find the correct one. Okay, I have it. I got it. It was number 2. Something's happening. OMG. I am super excited. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry. Please bear with me. I'm just so excited for this computer. It's up and running. Microsoft DOS version 5.1, revision A, and this is again in German. So Bosch ist im oberen Speicherbereich high memory. So it tells you that the DOS has been loaded high. Bosch Programmiergerät PG4, PG innerhalb Fab Meinfeld. So this is just the name of whatever is using this computer, the department or something, I will assume. And here we have a C colon. So if I do dir, we have something in here. We have the DOS folder, command, config, auto exit bad, and backup. Something called compress configuration, compress X. Is that zip unzip? I don't know. Then we have a folder called vscat. That's gonna be exciting. And a bat file called p1. Let's just type p1.com just to see what is the content of that bat file. It's just a text. No, I said sorry, it should be bat. Type p1.bat. There we go. Okay. So it does something, sets an environment parameter with LPT. So something about a port. It goes into that folder, starts a program and does something. Yeah. So actually P1 should be the only program that's in this computer. So let's try it. Okay. So Schnittstelle mit der Nummer. Okay. So what it's actually saying is that it's missing something. So it's trying. So this program is trying to read or reach something. I cannot tell you what it is. I must assume, because this is vscat. Is that, I don't know. Is it a cat system? Let's just try it. Give me a second. vscat. That's a lot. Where's the slash down here? Let's try the README for a second. Type txt. Okay, good luck. And it's in German. So what I was trying to say is that I think the arrow, if we go again, so P1, which is the only program in here, I think the arrow could be related to a dongle that needs to be put into the computer in the back in order for the program to be valid running. So I think this is actually what it's saying. I'm not sure. So again, if anybody knows anything about this system, have any of you maybe been working for Bosch and using this system, know anything about the program, how it works, please contact me and please make comments. But besides that, this is amazing, right? Sadly, there's not much we can do besides trying to see if the floppy disk drive is running. Seems not to be running. So maybe it's not in 1.44, maybe it's in 720. I'll figure that out. But amazing. What a cool computer, and how lucky are we? The hard disk is still working up there. So let me build everything back because I didn't take the covers on it and stuff. So let me just briefly make it pretty and let's have a talk. What an amazing, cool industrial computer from Bosch Rexroth. I think I got a little bit overexcited showing off this one. Yeah, well, I can tell you that some of my jobs is related to monitoring PLC activities. So one of my tasks is actually to rip out all data of all control units on a PLC system, storing that all into a SQL server, and out of that you can get loads and loads and loads of data, so you can make graphs, statistics, and other AI stuff. That's one of my tasks. So that's why I actually am super excited to see this computer. And I happen to be working with Bosch Rexroth and their PLC systems. So still excited. So just a brief catch up. where we are, because I'm gonna wrap this up for now. I will bring it back on a later date. So the status is, as of now, hard disk is working. Super cool. Floppy disk drive, not working. I took out the cable for the floppy disk drive, took in another floppy disk drive cable, and hooked up an external floppy disk drive and turned it on, and it's working. So it was either the cable or the drive. So took back in the built-in cable, the built-in cable for the floppy drive and hooked that to the external drive testing, still working. So it is this drive that's currently not working. This seemed to be a huge struggle to get into this area specifically. So I'm not gonna do that right now. Another thing, the water battery. Yes, not working. Even though there's 3-point-something voltage in it, it's not stable, it fluctuates. And this means that every time I boot the computer, the BIOS settings have been reset and you have to do that. So I need to find another water battery or a solution for that purpose. I wanna try my very best to get the same water battery because I wanna keep it this way. The other challenge is also I want to have a floppy disk drive in this size. As you can see, this is not a normal size. It's higher, so it's the same height as a 5¼ inch. And therefore, I'm gonna be looking for this. Once I've found one of these, then I will install it in there. I haven't looked into the keyboard also. It's working. It's a little bit weird. I still haven't understand why there's an escape key out here and not over there where it's supposed to be, but there you go. Okay, lost battery on my mic, so I'm gonna shout at the camera and hope to take it from there. So the keyboard is weird with the escape key, but nevertheless it's working, and I'm gonna clean this in another episode eventually when we do the other stuff. I'm just super excited having this computer right now, and I'm looking forward to see where this is gonna bring us. If anybody out there should have or are working with Bosch Rexroth, know of this computer, especially the card, how it's gonna be hooked up, the software, please make a comment, or even better, please contact me, send me an email. You can get my email if you look at my profile and find the email there on YouTube. Write to me, please, 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 so we can get more knowledge into this computer. It's very exciting. So let me just stop here and say thank you. Hope you do this one or maybe that one, and subscribe and all the things. And I'll come back with episode 2 once I found the missing parts, and hopefully people have been writing to me. I will also reach out to Bosch Rexroth to see if there's anybody in the company there knowing of this computer, and we'll see. So I'll bring all this back once I've got all these information. So thank you, and hope to see you soon again. Bye.